Next up on the block is Dak to the future, aka Purvis. Got Dalvin Cook in the first round of the keeper draft. And then we have Todd Gurley in the third, DeAndre Swift in the seventh, and Damian Harris in the 13th. First off, I like Dalvin Cook. He was on my team last year. He's a great talent. That team runs through Dalvin Cook. They got Kubiak back calling the plays. Arian Foster was pretty good under Kubiak. There's just a lot to like about him. The one concern is that he does have a kind of a bum shoulder. He's been in and out due to injuries the last few years, but when he's healthy, he's fantastic. Todd Gurley in the third round. I've seen him go in a lot of places. Atlanta has a capability of having a nice pass catching opportunity for Todd Gurley. I think that he's going to want to prove to people he's still got it. I just wonder if his knee knows that. And DeAndre Swift, speaking of knees, is out with a knee injury right now. Might miss week 1, but he is a first-round grade. They're going to try to get him involved. He might not be the whole backfield. I doubt he will be with Kerryon Johnson still there. And then they went and signed Adrian Peterson, which was a bit of a surprise to me. That was not a place I expected him to go. But that tells me that Swift might be a little bit more banged up than needed or than known. And then talk about banged up, Damian Harris is another running back who is currently injured, going to miss week 1 with a hand injury. It's not good when you're a running back and you have a bad hand. Can't hold on to the ball, can't catch the ball. There's some worry there. So overall, I mean, there's a lot of question marks when it comes to the running backs. You got some injury-prone guys, maybe not. I would have maybe liked to see Madison with Dalvin Cook just in case. He's also in a contract dispute, and at any point could just say, I don't want to play anymore. There's a lot going on there, but overall, if you look at them just as healthy assets, that's not a bad room to have. But when you have two of them that are probably going to miss the first week of the season, that makes you a little nervous. Wide receiver-wise, Chris Godwin, breakout season last year, going to play the slot guy to Tom Brady. He's going to enjoy that very much. Just a great talent. You're going to know what you're going to get, consistency out of him. Tyler Lockett, took him in the fourth round. This is a guy that has finished as a top 12 wide receiver the last 3 years. Everybody always drafts him around wide receiver 20. Nobody really understands why. Him and Russell Wilson just are efficient. He doesn't get a lot of catches, but he does the most with them. He's a great player. Now, is DK Metcalf going to take some of that away? I don't think so. I think there's enough to go around. I think they're going to try to pass the ball a little bit more this year. And Tyler Lockett just has that understanding with Russell Wilson. They just like are on the same wavelength. 2 years ago, they had a perfect QB rating when Russell was throwing to Lockett, which is insane. And you got Courtland Sutton as a third. I really like him as a third wide receiver. That's a nice trio to have because Sutton is going to be another consistent guy. He had a breakout year last year. You got guys that will give you points every week. PPR guys. Lockett is a little bit more of a boomer bust, but he's still going to get value every week. Then grabbing Deontay Johnson, that's a pick that a lot of people are liking this year. I'm not completely sold on it, but he's going to get opportunity, and if Big Ben likes him, then that's all that matters. You'll know very quickly at the start of this season whether or not Deontay Johnson's going to be a valuable player to have on your team. And then there's the Darius Slayton, who had a ton of touchdowns last year as a rookie. He is a quiet guy that Daniel Jones seems to enjoy throwing the ball to, and he could end up being the number one wide receiver on that Giants offense. There's a three-way tie right now between Shepard, Golden Tate, and Darius Slayton. I think that Golden Tate is the guy that I would be leaning towards to lead that backfield or the wide receiving corps, but Darius Slayton is a guy that's going to have value, and he has that big playability. Kyler Murray in the 6th round, just kind of like with Dak, that's great value for him. He's my pick to really end up being the number one quarterback this year. He has all the offensive playmakers around him. He has a great offense that wants to throw the ball, score points, be fast. He has the capability to having an absolute breakout season, just like Lamar did in his second year, just like Mahomes did in his second year. This year, I think it's the year of the Murray. Aaron Rodgers in the 10th as another guy, hey, man, you ever think seeing Aaron Rodgers in the 10th round? Let alone, you ever think that you'd see Aaron Rodgers get drafted behind Tom Brady when Tom Brady is like 44? It's crazy. But he didn't have a good year last year. He doesn't have a lot of guys to throw to this year. They kind of seem like they're on their way out with Rodgers, and they want to do a run-first offense. So 10th round is nice value, but it might be all that he actually returns. And then we got Jared Cook, who last year had a ton of touchdowns. He was very, very high efficient, but he didn't have a lot of receptions. He's a guy that you don't know. But when you got a guy that you don't know, could be great, could be not. You get a guy like Chris Herndon, who is one of my favorite picks of this draft. In the 14th round, you draft Chris Herndon for the New York Jets. He is basically one of the only guys there that's still healthy, wide receiving wise. It's like him and Jamison Crowder. Everybody else is hurt. Mims has been hurt. Perriman's still hurt. Le'Veon Bell has been in and out of practicing some. It's one of those things where it's like Chris Herndon has been the highlight of Jets camp. And if they're behind, they need to throw it to somebody. He's going to be that guy that just sits there and catches first downs. Then grabbing the Patriots defense in the 12th round, honestly, I really like that. They play the Dolphins week 1, so you can definitely start them there. But, they were one of the best defenses for fantasy last year, bar none. Like, it was ridiculous how many points they were scoring. They didn't change too much. Now, they did have a lot of opt-outs, so we'll see how that plays out. But they're still playing against the Jets twice, the Dolphins twice, and the Bills' offense isn't stellar. They get to play them twice, too. So it's not a bad pick in the 12th round. And then getting the Chargers in the 16th, just another little team there. Overall, like I said, this team has potential. That would be the word that I use. A lot of change has happened to the players that you have on your teams. Gurley's in a new place. Swift is a rookie. Godwin has a new quarterback. Sutton has a quarterback for the entire year. I think that's going to be a good one. It's just you're not really 100% sure how this team's going to weigh out. But the risks to me on some of the running backs, I would have tried to do a little bit more with. Also, it's just going to be tough. It's going to be one of those things where you might not know who's playing or if they're questionable till the start of the game. But the players are there. The talent is there. I'm giving this team a B-. Barring injury, should be in the playoffs, but I don't think you're going to get that lucky that everybody's going to stay healthy on this team.